crypto market looks a little bit confusing here and there. It looks like a mixed signal, but you see random coins moving higher. But if you actually go in, you can see interesting information directly from the price charts, right? So this is a 4-hour chart of the altcoin market showing it's rounding back to the upside. So there is a potential to reverse and go higher. Now, you take a step back, you go onto a daily chart, you zoom out. So the scenario one here is just like last 10-20 days. You're looking at that and understanding where it came from, what it's doing now. On a daily chart, you're looking for like last 1 year, where it came from, what it's doing now. So this was that 4-hour scenario. This is the short to medium term scenario. Now, when we say, okay, we are getting this on a short term, on a medium term, what do I really mean? Don't get confused. You go back in history, see like, okay, did we used to get these kind of patterns? For me, I think yes, we used to get these kind of patterns before big rallies. Now, if you really want to take an understanding about that, now you go to the macro. Yeah, you were talking about this, and again this one, but you also have a big rounded bottom before you actually started the last run, which was the wave one. Now, all of this has one thing in common. This all reversed at this trend line. So right now, when you're observing this rounding, where is it happening? It's happening close to this trend line. Now, yeah, that's the price spot. You can put in the indicators and ask the same question like, okay, does that come into the picture? Does that support the claim? Now, if it does or it don't, now what else are you going to look at? You're going to look at what the Bitcoin is actually doing with respect to the altcoins. So now you have an even better understanding of how this is going to end, because in the market right now, if you are taking proper focused attention, you have a lot of stuff which is slowly grinding back higher, breaking through, giving you a lot of advantage. See, this one broke higher today. So it was testing the resistance. We had our call on that. Then if you look at the medium term on the same asset, you see like, okay, the RSI broke higher. It came back, retested and bounced. It was making a short-term pattern. It broke even that one. So now at this moment, if someone is saying to you that we are bearish, it's completely up to you what you want to digest in. But on a short-term scenario, you're breaking through. This is your round bottom or a reversal signal. You got that here, you got in the MACD, you got that in the volume. Now we are going on to a 3-day chart to see, are we going to follow up? So we are right now closing into the 50-day moving average. We're going to slow down a little bit there and then push through. We have examples in the market which we are going to look today, right? So if you are in the market, understand these are technicals and you do have fundamentals which are playing out right now. And there are some, either you can call comedy, tragedy, whatever you want, but these happen in the market. When the reality is this, when the reality does look like this, there are people who really don't understand what payments actually mean, right? They only understand how to cut the throat with the gas fee, not the real payment, because even the central bankers kind of understand you need to go digital. And when you go digital, they're not talking about your digital fiat. They are talking about central bank digital currency. So even this structure is going to change. It's more like this structure, which is actually going to play out soon, right? So we're going to go all through that and break these down and then go on to the fundamentals and talk through that. But before that, we would like to look at different assets, including XRP, to see what it is really doing, right? So stay till the end. We'll do that. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now, let's start with XRP, right? We are looking at XRP and this is what we are observing. This is a short-term chart, 4-hour chart. We broke higher. We're coming back to retest this level. We need to hold that. So if we hold that, now we are going to bounce to break through this moving average. So till where we are going to go? It's actually a little bit high, but it's not comparatively much higher. But you still manage to actually bounce from this range, which actually gives you a breathing room to understand, like, okay, this is actually going to go some way and test the level of resistance, which is like this. Right now, you're at the support. If you're breaking, you're going to go to zero point 0.4. Now, it's not too big, but it is still something in the market as the market moves higher, right? So as we told, if you're actually looking at different assets, if you remember, we talked about Chili's in one of our videos before. Right now, you go look at that asset and it is showing you it's been going up, up, up. At one point, there would be consolidation. Right? At one point, there would be consolidation. We would take our profit. We just did from last couple of weeks. We were slowly waiting for the proper positioning. We were actually taking out. We took out somewhere here. Now we waited. We took out somewhere here. And now people actually ask, like, okay, what's the reason behind this? Right? And I give you my perspective in my PM, right? And then now you're looking at this. It's the same idea which I told you in the dollar, which I'm observing. This is trending higher, making a higher high, but now the RSI is suggesting it's slowing down. Now, it may actually drop to the moving average and bounce back high, but if it's actually going to come back, correcting back low, and now you actually have other assets in the market at the same time, which is breaking higher. So if you want to enter there, make some money, that's not a bad opinion, right? So we actually did that. So we are actually doing that now consistently. So why is that? People ask me, like, okay, now your trading frequency is slowly increasing. Last couple of months, we are opening trades, we are closing trades. What's happening? That's because the market is doing this, right? We talked about this. The market is rounding back up. Now it's going to bounce, test this level. And if it breaks through that, now you're going to see another altcoin season where it would still be random coins pumping, because you need to actually see the Bitcoin dominance break through the downside. The RSI did break down, but the price did not. So the price, as it goes through to the downside, that's when we are going to observe, like, altcoins are literally going to run. Now, medium term, what you're going to look at in the market is like, okay, if you are observing this breakout, the retest and bounce, this really is an opportunity either at the entry level breakout or at the retest. You can just put an order and forget about it. Literally, if you did that, now it's not 10x, but it is still decent 40-50% gains, maybe in a day or two. That's not bad. And even if you are waiting for a week, 2 or 2 months, for me, that's great. Now, what is the signal there? You look at all these indicators, you have something in common, which is your strength index actually suggests you that we are breaking higher from a trend which we were following from a very long time, in which we had a wick to the downside before we went up. Now, that wick happened to be here, and the price actually put in another low here, and the same time you observe that the RSI was showing you the upside, the opposite side. So you got a bullish divergence here. Now, during that time, literally here by the end of June, we did a newsletter where we actually highlighted, okay, in this digest, I'm talking about the divergence, and this is happening. Now, after that, it's slowly going up. So is that a coincidence? We did divergence through June, and now we're observing July, August, we are slowly going up and breaking higher? No, because we were anticipating this and we were waiting for this from a long time. The market is doing this. So right now, if you're in the market, what can you do? Say if it is an asset which you have, imagine you have like XLM or XRP. Most of us actually have these. Now, the issue there is, like, these are highly correlated coins. And if you are in this as long term, it's still okay. But if you're looking for a medium term, short to medium term trade, being in highly correlated assets are going to be bad. Because if one moves, the other moves. If not, both of them are kind of dead. They're not moving. So you need to be in different coins which are not highly correlated. One thing which you can do is just open a weekly chart or even a 3-day chart, and you can easily notice them. Like, are they moving together, right? If you want to put that comparison here, you can actually put the comparison, add that asset which you want to add, and then look at it, right? Now, first thing we want to observe is the strength. Is the strength increasing? Are we trying to break higher? Now there is like two different ways you can actually look at this. Either you can look at the short-term connections and you can say like, okay, we are breaking. But at that point, you would be saying like, okay, we came low here, we are breaking high, we are retesting this range. So now, in that perspective, you literally are making a higher low, a little bit high, and then you need to validate that. The validation for that comes when you are breaking this level. You get a candle close above that. Now that's a weekly candle. So you need to actually understand that a weekly candle raising last 4 or 5 weeks of move to the upside is kind of a little bit negative. So for me, I would say like, okay, inside this market, you go in, you look at like how many of these are actually moving up, is trending up. It shouldn't be just a move just to test the resistance and going back down. It should be something where the asset actually tend to move up. So if you actually take a random pick, okay, we'll go on to the next 100 and you actually look at like, okay, what's happening in the market, and you are going to just take a random pick. Okay, let's go with the ENS here. So if you are trying to actually look at this, okay, maybe I have done it before. No, it's fine. So when we are looking at this, you are now observing like, okay, what's happening in the price? Easy understanding. First, you go look at what the strength index is doing. It's slowly trending to the upside. Fine. Okay, now you're looking at your MACD and you do get that understanding here like, okay, your MACD is still slowly moving up. It's not the best, but you can understand like, okay, it's trending up. Fine. Now we're going to look at the price with respect to support resistance zones. So this has been a long-term support here. You can take a line, put it there to get the price range and then drop a range. So that range needs to cover the top of the support and the bottom of the support, which happens to be somewhere like this. Now extend that. You come here and you get a better perspective. You acted as a level of support before, then that became a level of resistance. Now you broke above that, it should be acting as a support. Fine. Now you zoom in. Now we want to understand what are you really making. Is this an inverse head and shoulder? Because there is always a possibility that this pattern can be an inverse head and shoulder. You get 1, 2, 3. So if you break lower, that's not the best step you want to actually look at. But instead of breaking to the downside, what if the price is actually coming back up to retest the moving average, the 20-day moving average on a daily, and you happen to get a bounce? Now that's a bull flag. You go up, you come back inside this pattern, and then go higher, breaking higher. To get more, certainty. Now you can't say anything as a certain stuff inside markets, especially, financial assets are crazy. You need to actually look at it and ask like, okay, as a guy in the market, observing the market, if I take a calculated guess, what would I say? I'm looking at this as a bottom in price. And if you take that as a number of days perspective, that's like 2 to 2.5 months, you are moving at the same range. But during the same period of time, what happened? The strength in the market actually increased, and it is following one trend line, bouncing each time close to that trend line. So what would be your odds? You would say, like, if it's me, I would say like, okay, this is a support, this is a resistance. You are respecting that level and you are respecting here in the trend line. Most likely you may actually have a bounce. Fine. Now you do your TA and see like what are the different levels, where it is going to go, what's the targets, all those. And if you're taking up a trade, you do accordingly. Now don't go leverage, because if there is a huge change in the market sentiment for short term, that would wipe you out. And even if you see certain coins doing really big numbers and it happens to be like, $2,000, $3,000 in volume, you won't be able to take your profits. So you will get stuck there. So you need to actually understand how much money you're putting in, and is this kind of volume actually okay for you. If you're putting $100, maybe this is okay for you. But if you're putting like, $1,000, that's not okay. This is okay. Like you're actually literally looking at how much is there in the total market and then how much is that in your exchange, because that's the most important part. Fine. So now we actually understood like, okay, the market in general is showing you something easy to identify, and that's a rounded bottom and slowly going back up on a short term. on a medium term, and that has been repeatedly happening again and again and again throughout the history of the altcoin market. So if it's doing this here once, twice, and the third time here, most likely it's going to follow the same pattern here. So the similarity with this level of going up, consolidating near the all-time highs and doing this reversal, for me, that's like, okay, that's more than market's rhyming itself. It's quite close to market is repeating itself. Now you can say there are a little bit of difference here and there, but you do understand that the market is rhyming itself. Look at the indicators. We were making around at bottom, we broke higher, and that's when we actually gathered momentum. Look at this one. You had this, you broke higher, that's when you started gathering momentum. Fine. The next one. Here, you haven't broken higher right now. You have a short-term round at bottom. You have a medium-term round at bottom. As soon as you break through this, that's when you are going to observe momentum increasing. And as momentum increase in the general market, now you're going to observe not random coins moving, a lot of these coins starting to move higher. Maybe 20% a day, 15% a day, some randomly going like 50, 40% a day. But in general, you may observe like 10, 20% on average on these coins doing on a regular basis. So now, if you want to actually take benefit of that, you need to actually understand what these charts are conveying. Fine. Now, this is one of the stuff I was reading through this and I'm like, okay, this is not a small guy. He has done something big. Okay, he made the name, he made the money, great. But when you actually talk about cryptocurrency payments, I'm really confused. Yes, crypto payments are really superior. I actually agree about all of those. But if we really understand that, why is he still in Ether? Why is he not going and developing something better than Ether? I really don't understand, because when you are here, you look at these guys, what they are doing. That's like, okay, it's actually being tweeted out by the Faster Payments Council. So it's payments we're talking about, right? And then you go on to look at like, okay, real life payment companies and what they are highlighting. They're using on-demand liquidity and they are showing you how the on-demand liquidity works. And when you go onto the market, you actually see like, okay, there's a lot of different stuff happening with fundamentals and it's really great. And then if you're actually looking at the general market in that perspective, there's a lot happening in the macro which you really need to keep your eyes on. Like the housing cost, it's going up at a time when no one can actually afford it, and demand is going lower and lower and lower. Now, free money is again coming back to the market in different ways. I don't know whether you agree with that or not, but that is going to end up in the financial markets. So when you're looking at this guy, this is Michael Burry, and you're like, okay, this is how these big guys are actually taking that. And who's actually going to pay for this is something which they really don't want you to actually understand. Fine. So if you are there, a normal human being working, now you're going to pay for that. Fine. Now we actually look at all this and ask that question to yourself, like, okay, do you really understand what's happening? And I'm like, okay, this really is fun. They're talking about moving into a digital currency, central bank based digital currency, not just the digital fiat, which you actually see like, okay, digital dollar moving into XRP, then moved on to another area, moved on to the different currency. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the central bank digital currency. So instead of your digital fiat, it's going to be central bank digital currency in this. Nothing different. Great. That means this is still going to be there. You're still going to be using the on-demand liquidity, which is the XRP ledger, and you move money with XRP ledger, XRP wallet. So if you want an XRP wallet and you need money there, that means most likely people are actually going to buy this up in a pool and put it there to use for the remittance purpose. Well, that's not actually a bad stuff for the demand side of this. But how this is going to play out, how SEC is going to allow this, time taken for all this implementation, that can bleed us out, right? That's one of the stuff we say like, okay, you have your long-term bag packed, great. Now, if you have liquidity and you're looking to trade, now go on to the market and look at the market and ask yourself like, okay, do you really think there is going to be a potential opportunity in this market to make money? If so, take wise decision. Do that. We are doing that consistently, and if you want that as an update, as an alert for you. You can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, if you are here in the market and you are receiving value from this channel, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That supports the channel a lot. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.